Good morning and welcome to the channel. I've decided I need to check in on my land, so let's take a look in here. We're going to start in production. Please don't judge. I can see, or as you can see, I have land spread across 12 different regions. 85 is my main region, Jiangfo. So I'm going to go in here and take a look. I believe I have a couple of sites under construction that are completed their construction. Where are we? There we are. So we've got stone ready to go here. I am not going to have enough grain to feed these guys. Manage. Insufficient grain. I need 15,000 and I'm currently sitting on 5,000 in this region. We need to get this up and running because my land is a bit of a disaster. As you can see, all these numbers in the red, this is a bad thing. The reason being, I pushed really hard to get my Aura lab up and running, which it did the night before last. In doing so, I had to push research very hard to get the 10,000 research required, and while I was pushing those, I was neglecting everything else. So we need to get ourselves, we're going to go back here and we're going to get our grain from elsewhere. So we haven't harvested here. I spent the last couple of weeks buying up plots of land wherever I seen them cheap, prioritizing grain, not caring too much where I got them from. There's not a lot of grain available, or grain sites available in my region, so I had to go outside my region to get them. And I'm now going to be looking to transport this over to 85 in order to get that work site working for me. What I don't want to do though is I don't want to just go in here and transport it. The transport fee, as you can see, it's quite high. I'll be losing, what am I losing there, almost 10%. It's actually less than 10%. So it's not the most efficient way of doing this, but I don't think I have much of a choice. I need to get the resources over to 85 in order to get that. Was it a quarry? Was it get it up and running? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to transport it to ourselves over to 85. Okay, this is different. This is changed. I've only just logged on after an update. I don't want to do this because it hasn't been working out. I'm going to lose 700 there. Let me see if they've done the update that they were talking about doing. Can I sell grain and buy grain? Okay, this is a new feature. This was unexpected. So I'm going from here. I'm going to go to 85. That's the same amount as it's showing a transportation cost there. If I was to sell this into wood, it's not showing a transportation cost. A few days ago when I was doing this, what I was doing was I was selling grain to buy wood, selling it from the region I didn't want it, buying it into the region I did want it. I'd sell wood to buy grain, or I might sell iron to gain stone, because it was far more efficient than simply transporting it, because the transportation fee was much higher. It was more like 15%. So they've now brought this in, allowing us to sell grain into grain, so essentially sell grain here to buy grain there. The maximum amount. And the transportation fee is less than 10%. which is more efficient than it was, because a few days ago I transported, or I was going to transport, 441 iron, and the fee was 55 iron, which was like 12.5%. Whereas now I'm losing less than 10%. So I think it's going to be as efficient to do this as messing around buying grain and selling grain to buy wood, or selling wood to buy grain. It's no difference from doing it on this screen. That was 707. Wasn't that the same amount? 707. So it doesn't matter which screen I do it from. Market fluctuations of 0.5 to 25%, because again it's doing buying and selling. That's obviously what's going on in the background now. Let's just go ahead and confirm that I need to get the grain over to 85 over to Jiangfo. I received 6,500. I am going to send my iron over there as well while I'm at it. And again, the transportation fee is it's a fraction under 10%. Let's just go ahead and do that, because if I'm going to be claiming everything in 85, I'd rather not have to spend what little DEC I have left, but I'll probably have to do that. I'd rather use that DEC to buy myself a few more midnight potions and crack open some more packs. Alright, so that's region 9 is done. Regions 12 and 18, these are just single plots that are actually for sale at the moment on the market. Baxton, these are all potentially, almost all of them, grain plots. I have 2 badlands for iron, but these can be grain as well. I've simply run out of DEC at this point. I just can't activate any more plots. So I'm going to go ahead and claim my grain. Should be netting about 5,000, which will be enough to claim my iron, and then everything gets sent over to 85. Now, if I'd been able to buy more plots in 85, I wouldn't be losing nearly as much in transportation fees, but I had no choice. I'm only new to the land game. So maximum amount to myself. Just under 10% again. Should be receiving 6,940. Which is exactly what we receive. And for the iron, going to the exact same place. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at 85 now. Sitting at 13,000 grain. Alright, a few minutes, a minute. Alright, region 62. 2 grain plots. Again, I don't know if I'll keep these long term. I might end up selling these on the market. If I get an opportunity to buy some grain plots in 85, or maybe in Baxton, or one of the other regions that I'm a little bit more established in. At the time I was buying up whatever grain plots seemed like a good price. A lot of these are picked up for around the 20 to 30 mark. I don't recall exactly at this point, but let's see. Okay, these are single plots. Again, grain, so we'll harvest. They're only common, a lot of these, and they've maybe got 6,000-7,000 production power on the land. I was spreading out a lot of my cards across a lot of land to try activate as much as I could. At some point I'm going to start, hopefully now, I need to start making some of these lands a little bit more efficient. So I come back out. And again, 7,200 to feed the workers. I'll only be getting about 6,000, and again this is because it's only a common land. It doesn't have any buffs from totems, it doesn't have anything helping it out. So out of the 15,000 I've only got 6,200, so not very efficient. Again, if you have something like a Rooney on there, if you have some totems on there, you can make your land much more efficient. So you get to keep a higher percentage because they will boost the production power of your workers without increasing how much it costs to feed them. So I have a lot of land that's not particularly efficient, but anything that helps or has helped to get 85 running well enough that it could get my Aura Lab up and running. That's all I was worried about, was get the Aura Lab up and running as quickly as possible. This one is slightly more efficient. You can see I'm losing less than 3, so I've lost 2,800. I paid some taxes, but I've got 3,000, which is a reasonably high amount. I get to claim my iron now, and the reason for that being that these were some rare lands. The rare lands give a boost, and that boost can make a big difference. Now I don't have much to send over, but we'll send it over nonetheless. So yeah, rare lands coupled with a rare totem, if you're really lucky, coupled with a Rooney, and your land can become very efficient. We want to send over that bit of iron as well. Anything that stops me having to spend DEC on any of these materials, because when we get over to 85, you're going to see a lot more land, and some of it's specialized, some of it's mining SPC, some of it's getting aura, some of it's still going for research. Queenstone. So what have we got? We have 2 stone plots that are rare and 2 grain plots. Go ahead and harvest them all. So the grain plots aren't too efficient there. Out of 10,500, I'm left with 5,2. Now, stone. Now it's well in my interest to swap 5,000 grain for over 1,000 stone. The 1,000 stone is worth a lot more. Alright, so we send this over to 85 now as well. This is all going to 85 as well. We're nearly there. I didn't want to do this prior to starting the recording because I thought this might be useful information to some people. Alright, we're going to harvest all of this. This is my second biggest region with 7 lands. I've got wood, grain, iron, wood, they're all represented here. First things first, as you can see, we've got a bit more efficiency going on here. This is partly because I know I've got a couple of rare totems here. One is on the grain, and one of the rare totems I believe is on the iron. I will be pulling them off now though, because they need to go to 85 as well. Now hopefully we have enough. We have enough grain for all of this. Now while I'm here, this is the grain plot that has the rare totem. Now I'm making a change to the production power, so I'll do it now. Save changes. As you can see there, there's a warning telling me that it's going to trigger a harvest, but I've just done my harvest, so I don't care. Okay, and we're going to quickly just pull it off. I believe it's on the iron here. 25% boost. And there's my other one. Take it off, save our changes. Iron production is going to drop quite significantly. But the energy required stays the same, the amount of grain stays the same, I just get a lot less. So this is why these totems are so valuable. The same if you can get yourself a title, and even more so if you have a Rooney up the front here, makes a huge difference. Okay, so we pulled them two rare totems off, and we're now done with Shadow Veil. And the last one, region 139, it's just a grain plot. Oh, I forgot to transport, didn't I? Let's harvest. Okay, and go up here, harvest to maximum, or transport to maximum. Again, just under 10% transportation fee. I'll confirm that. I should be receiving about 4.1 over in 85. Yeah, 4.103, there we go. And we completely forgot. I say we, it's not your fault. I completely forgot to send all this over to 85. Continue. I think a feature to just like transport everything from this region to another region. It'd be useful for me now. I don't sure if anyone else would find that useful, but I now have to go in and do the wood. Again, losing about 10% of the wood. I won't be doing this for much longer. There's plenty of wood available in 85. It's just a matter of getting those work sites cleared and getting the log cabins built. Okay. And finally, a decent amount of iron, thanks to our rare totem. That was doing good work for me there. Alright. Okay, so now back to my main region. As you can see, I'm a tiny bit short, about a 1500 DEC short of it being 100% efficient. It's 99% efficient at the moment. Work sites. So we have our overlap there. Plenty of granaries. Lots of iron. Loads of research. 3 for SBS. We got 6 there for stone. 6 more for wood, and then 2 for tax, so that'll be my keep and my castle. So, and then down the bottom, worksite ready for stone. So time to feed those workers. And feed the workers. Yep. Okay, quarry is up and running. Now I want to make changes to this, but I can't make any changes just yet. It is very important that I harvest everything from this region before I go messing around with changing any production power anywhere. The exception is the keep and the castle. I don't have to claim these at this point. If I was to claim the castle, There's quite a bit of resources there that I could really use. But I have here a 58, almost 59% chance of getting a totem. I do not want to claim this until it's at 100%. I've done a few claims off the castle where these percentages were much lower, and obviously I didn't get a totem or a totem fragment. So I'm going to leave this one. The keep, on the other hand, let's do by rarity. The keep, however, I am going to harvest, partly because I want to bring up this percentage a little bit. So I'm going to be sticking another worker on instead of one of these epic gold foils. So I'll probably pull off worker number 5 here and replace them. Again, I don't want to do anything yet, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest that. It's going to cost me only 1,000 grain, and in return I'll collect all of this. I have a 3.25% chance of getting some sort of totem fragment, so I won't be holding my breath on that, but let's see how we get on. So we'll harvest this. We'll need the resources, and we want to make changes, so that's why I'm harvesting here. Otherwise I might just let it go a bit longer. Okay, so that's all been collected. Obviously there's no, it would tell me here if I had received a fragment. Okay, so we'll go in here to harvest all. This is harvesting everything except the castle or the keep. They don't appear in here. First things first, obviously, we'll go ahead and claim our grain. And as we move along here, I'll be able to see how much wood I need to buy, or how much stone, how much iron I need to buy in order to claim these as well. We have 82,000 grain. So it'll be enough to claim these 3, but I'm going to run out of grain long before I claim the research. Another 14,000 wood. It's not going to be enough to allow me to claim my SPS and my research. And again, this all comes back then to the setup that I have. I haven't set myself up very well. I probably should have spent more time building quarries, building log cabins before, but I was greedy to get the research going as quickly as I could, and in doing so get my aura lab up and running. Okay, so everything comes down to this. We are going to be claiming 507 SPS. All I need is to get up to 43,000 grain. So we are going to run out of DEC, that is for sure. So let's go ahead and claim this aura. Okay. We are also going to have to buy quite a bit of stone. Okay. So let's just do this one first to get this done. So we need another, we'll call it 41,000 into region 85. So there goes 405 DEC. And then going back here, still not quite enough. We need another, I'll call it 600 stone. Okay, so that's another 111 DEC. goes notifications. And we can claim 507 SPS. So this SPS will immediately come out to my main dashboard, ready to be staked. Now, we need to do our research because I would like to get a second overlap up and running if I can. So we will need 68,000 grain into 85. You can see the price there, approximately 1 DEC to every 100 grain. Okay, we are going to need 34,000 wood, and we only have 6. So we need another 28,000 wood. And that's going to cost me 1,000 DEC that I do not have. So we are going to have to unstake a bit of DEC from land. So who wants to lose a bit? Unstake. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need, so let's just do 10,000. It's going to mess with the efficiencies. I think this will do a forced harvest as well, but again, we only harvested 10 minutes ago, so no big deal. As you can see, the capacities have all been set right down to the bare minimum. We harvested a tiny bit of iron and a tiny bit of grain as part of doing that. So the system did that for me. There was obviously enough grain that came off the grain plot to pay for the iron. So the forced harvest, I didn't lose anything. So we're going back to 85 now. Harvest all. And we want the 28,000 wood. Go back, we need all of it. We've almost no stone, so we need 13,600 stone, and we're going to need 3,300 iron. So 13,600 into 85. And it was 3,300. So when I said at the start that this could be a lesson in how not to manage your land, I think you can see why now. Trying to push hard in one direction, like I did towards research, it has left me vulnerable to having to constantly spend DEC to buy resources to be able to make these claims, which isn't an efficient way of managing your land. Okay, so we've claimed everything off our land. My work sites that I want to improve upon. Obviously, I really want to improve on the grain lands. So looking at these here, the grain required for this last rare land, it's very low. Energy required, that's telling me that I don't have the best cards on here. Production power is only 7,200, so this land is clearly not doing as well as it could. So there you go. In my hurry to get this one developed, I could only spare 3 cards, 3 gold cards, so we need to improve this land significantly. So earlier today, I opened a couple of black foil cards, and I think I'm just going to, in order to improve this as massively as I can. I'm going to get a black foil. It's a shame that she's a neutral, but she's going on there. And I have 2 Naga Assassins, so one of them is going on there. The addition of these 2 cards is going to increase my production from 7,000 to 23,000. I'm going to go from producing 145 grain an hour to 461. So this is going to help with my deficiencies. And then while I'm here, we're going to add one of our rare totems. And the rare totem is going to boost everything by a further 25%. So we'll save those changes. It's saying I need to stake more DEC. I'll do that as soon as I get it. That might take me a little while. Overall production is going up massively, and that's exactly what I needed. Okay, so that's change number 1. What else did we want to change? We said we wanted to change the keep. Okay. The keep has plenty more to harvest because obviously I did a bunch of harvesting, which I possibly should have done before I did the keep, or at least harvested everything in its tract. Manage. Okay, so I've got a Naga Assassin who will add 2,000 production power more at the base than this guy here. So he's going on there. Let's have a look at this. It's only improving the tax rate by 0.4%. I've changed my mind. The way the tax rate is done is when you initially put a few cards on, the amount of tax you're collecting, it goes up quite quickly, but you get diminishing returns. In order for me to make a significant increase here in the tax return, I probably need to add in a card that's 10,000 power, you know, something like the black foil I just did. I think those Naga Assassins will be better off on another grain worksite. So, this one has 22,000. These grain sites are doing pretty good now. Alright, so we'll go with one of the common plots. This one is not doing too well at the moment. It's only got 4,500. Let's manage this. And once again, we have a plot that didn't have nearly enough cards on it. So we'll get a Naga Assassin in there. These are regular foil cards. This Portal Spinner is a gold foil. It's probably the best one to put on there. When I look at these cards, these are max level cards in regular foil, but you can see I only have one of them, so I need that for my deck. Whereas the gold foils, I'm more than happy to put on land. So these 2 going onto land, I'm going to save changes there. Again, I'll have to add DEC to really get the efficiency out of this. So the last thing to do is to find somewhere to place this final 25% totem. So base production here is only 10,000, so I don't think I'll put it on there. This one has a 10% totem already. And this granary, Also has a 10% totem. So I'm now producing a third of the grain that I actually need. A little bit more than a third of the wood that I need. Well, again, a third. You can see here I'm only producing per hour a third of what I actually need, and the one that's doing the worst seems to be the iron. So let's have a quick look at the different iron plots that I have. This one here is producing 12,360, so I think we're going to stick our rare totem on here to help these lads along. So, do we have any better cards while we're at it? I'm trying where possible to stay within the same colours. I was watching someone recently on YouTube talking about when it comes time to feed workers certain types of food that are from certain types of splinters. So that seems possible. So you can see I've got a couple of death cards that could go on here. Jotun is definitely not going on there. I use him quite a bit. Molten Ash Golem, 13.99. Alright then, let's just go ahead and put our rare totem on here. And we'll improve our iron. It's an extra 1.5 iron per hour. Okay guys, so this is where I'm finishing out today. I don't believe I have any more work sites ready yet. Over the next couple of days I've got 2 more wood coming online, 3 more stone, 2 more iron. The SPS ones are a month away, so it'll be very important to get these online. In my non-constructed, I have nothing that can be turned into a granary, so I can't possibly get any more grain. So I'm relying on importing my grain from my other regions for the moment. Or when I get these numbers big enough, maybe I'll be creating enough wood or stone or iron here to sell to get grain. So that'll be, hopefully this region will become more self-sufficient. I think as a whole, when I look at all of my regions, I'm close to being self-sufficient. I'm definitely not there yet. Across all of my lands, I'm still only creating 3,500 grain. So I need to bring online some of the granaries in the likes of Braxton that we seen earlier. But that's where I'm at the moment. Everyone, thanks very much for hanging out with me here for the 40 minutes or so that I've been on. If you enjoyed watching this video, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button, possibly even the subscribe button. Many thanks for watching, and sláinte.